And in a long-awaited ruling, the Supreme Court today handed a partial victory to former President Trump. The justices decided that presidents are entitled to immunity from prosecution for official conduct while in office, although they can be prosecuted for actions taken in a private capacity.
This case is now headed to a lower court to determine what's what. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest and how it impacts the charges against the former president for his actions surrounding the 2020 election. Alice, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Maureen and Matt. And that sending it back down to the lower court, that is the critical part in terms of timing. That's the thing that means we're probably not going to see this case go to trial before the November election. Now, what happened is that the Supreme Court rejected former President Trump's claims of absolute immunity for all of his actions, but it did recognize substantial immunity, so much so that the liberal justices responded with the words, "With fear for our democracy, I dissent."
The Supreme Court today setting a new standard for presidential immunity that effectively hands a victory to former President Trump. The High Court ruling the former president is immune from prosecution for official conduct related to his presidential duties while he was in office, though not for personal acts.
The tricky part is what is an official act and what is not an official act, and how are we going to decide it?
The case now heads to a lower court to sort that out, making it highly unlikely Mr. Trump will go to trial before the November election on charges he tried to illegally overturn the 2020 election results, culminating in the January 6 Capitol attack. The former president calling it a big win, while a senior Biden campaign advisor said the ruling doesn't change the facts, arguing that Donald Trump snapped after losing the 2020 election. Protesters on both sides reacting outside the High Court.
I think Trump's role on January 6th was the commander-in-chief.
I'm outraged that American citizens will go to the polls in November not knowing the details.
The decision grants immunity to core presidential powers, including Mr. Trump's contacts with Justice Department officials as he sought to reverse the 2020 results, and outlines presumptive immunity for acts on the outer perimeter of official duties, like his discussions with former Vice President Mike Pence. In the majority opinion, Chief Justice John Roberts writing that immunity for official conduct is necessary to safeguard an energetic, independent executive. In a blistering dissent, the three liberal justices said, quote, "The court effectively creates a law-free zone around the president, upsetting the status quo that has existed since the founding."
And another critical element here, this ruling not only prevents presidents from being prosecuted for official acts, it also says that official acts cannot be used as evidence in prosecutions over unofficial acts. And taken together, that makes it very difficult to bring a case against a president under any circumstances. Maureen?
Wow. All right. Well, we'll be paying attention to the next steps here. Alice, thank you so much.